Jacqueline and Treblecock Burrows. This is your, me saying hi, and it's sounding way too gay. I don't want to sound gay to you. I don't, but I had to sort of give you some verbal. John Duthie, when he had a heartburn, he would get Dioval. It was like a white, off-white bottle, Dioval, and he would drink a bottle of it. It wouldn't be a big bottle. It would be just enough for him if he wasn't feeling good in his tummy. And I'm just having some memories of John Duthie. One of my favorite memories is when we were all very small and at your camp at Amethyst Harbor, in the backyard, there was the bunkhouse, and it was painted dark green. And that dark green color would absorb the sunshine, and it would get quite warm, very warm, but to the point where it would almost feel hot. And I remember when I was very small, and I don't know, anyways, we were hanging out in your backyard at camp, close to those bunkhouses, and they were old bunkhouses, even when you were small. They were like when we were little, those things were already pretty old. Well, they were older than me, and so what am I talking about? How old were you? What older were me? I'd say you were 7, and I was, how much older am I than you? Am I 1 or 1.5 or 2 years older than you? I can't remember. Anyway, whatever it was, that's how old I was. It was very strange to go to, your camp because we didn't know you. I don't know. We had just come back from Sarnia, and it was very exciting to know that you had relatives, but we didn't know you until we were introduced to you and you were said to be our relatives. Anyways, it was always like going to someone's house. I'm always a little bit shy going into new houses, and your camp was nicer than a lot of people's regular in the city house. And your in the city house is considered to be, a mansion, a small mansion, but it's like definitely bigger than a bungalow. Everybody that looks at it would say, well, so I don't know. It's just that in Thunder Bay you would be considered a one percenter. But on the world stage, you certainly were never a one percenter. And you were never in the Warren Buffett or Bill Gates kind of category. So to say that even though in Thunder Bay you seem to be upper echelon, on the world stage you really aren't. Because some people still think that they're high class and borrowed shoes, and in marketing terminology, that upper class is just rich people, in a demographic breakdown. I just wouldn't want you to think that, you are 1% and get a swelled head and then think that you've got to all of a sudden um, try and fit into a category of people that you just don't belong to and you never will. And, I do see how you like to talk about environmental issues when it comes to building housing on floodplains and the idiocracy of everything to do with government. We're looking to see what other messages we can give you, and the messages that we were given to give you are pretty much that we had heard that you had got involved with. Well, in Thunder Bay, the business here is called the Body Mind Center, and it's where you do hatha yoga, and maybe you could do hot yoga, and you might be able to get, like, I don't know, would it be a stretch to say you could get Reiki there? If you couldn't get Reiki there, you could probably get Thai massage. I've been doing Reiki for, well, around the time I came out is about the time that I got into Reiki energy healing. So I came out at 42, and this year, May the 10th, I'm going to be 57. So, that's a long time if you do the math. And it's just that, a lot of people don't know anything about me, and, being an advanced in certain ways. Anyways, I don't know what else to tell you because I just wanted to let you know that, I do wear this peace symbol because, it's very important you understand that in my deep psychosis, I might not appear to be sane, to be wearing a peace symbol. Do you remember, this is as an aside, push that aside now and cover that up, don't look at that. Okay, do you remember when my dad, your Uncle Dave, turned 40? Well, your mom had birthday family dinner, and she gave your Uncle Dave a Playboy magazine. And I'm pretty sure it was like, they think it was October, but it was definitely like 1975. And one of the articles in that was a photo shoot collage, and it was entitled Sex in Cinema 1975, and it had little clips. It was still very, soft core, but, boobs and, like very suggestive positions and things. And one of the famous scenes was from the same sex book that was left lying around by David Rubens, MD, and it was called Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask. And that book, which was like Dr. Ruth Westheimer, or what was the other lady's name? In Southern Ontario, there was a lady, I can't remember. Anyway, a Sunday night sex show with Sue Johansson. Maybe it was Q107 in those days. Anyway, I'm just going to back up a little bit, and we're going to go back to the Body Mind Center here in Thunder Bay, where you can do these yoga things. And Hatha yoga, you know, well, I don't know. But beyond that, everyone knows there's a Kundalini yoga, which has to do with raising your Kundalini Shakti Shanti energy up your spine and, up way up here to your crown chakra and keep on going up into the universe and the stars. So, I mean, I'm sure you've heard Kundalini and chakras because it just has everything to do with me being a Reiki energy person for so many years and, the strange life that I've had because, my Kundalini awakening experience quite often makes people who haven't had a Kundalini experience think that I'm the one that belongs in the nut house, when in the truth of the matter is, the people who put me in the nut house are insane because they refuse to even pick up the book that I give them for Christmas, multiple times. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And it's just that, I don't know, there's a lot of intrigue that goes on around the world while I'm having my, breakthroughs into, I don't know where I am now. Anyway, I don't want to brag too much because I just want to tell you that, I'm a two-spirited person in gay parlance, and I definitely was in the gay community in Vancouver for a number of years. So, I've been through all of that, and I don't really want to talk about that, except that sometimes I like to go and give you funny stories or backgrounders on different people that I used to know. Did you know that Canadian singer superstar Coleman Hell, who had that hit song Two Heads? Did you know that his mom and dad moved in almost across the street from your Uncle Dave and your Auntie Sue at 2621 Park Row Street in Thunder Bay? Yes. The singer's parents, and they're just like very quiet people, but it's just the most bizarre thing out of all the possible places in Canada. For I don't know, because sometimes, people that live right next door to you end up having like national prominence. And sometimes people that, that you knew when you were, I don't know, 8 years old, like me, have no prominence whatsoever in, this world. And don't you ever wonder why? Why? Well, I've given you some reasons why. Well, I don't know. I hate to be trite because in the Bible, when you went to St. Andrew's Presbyterian, just up the street from the Brody Street Library across from City Hall, when you were very small, perhaps when you were 8 years old, especially at Christmas, you did go for like candlelight service on Christmas Eve. And it was cold in Thunder Bay, and there'd be snow on the ground, it'd be blustery, but you did sing in the Christmas choir with Mrs. Hazel Murray, 'cause I was there too. Anyways, we did have a wonderful time, and we did get very solemn faces, and, when you got to light your little candle, and go out into the cold with your candle, keeping your hand warm. And then you get to go home, and then it's like the most exciting day because it's like, it's so cool, and that, it's a good chance that, we're gonna come over on Christmas Day for dinner, you know. And I don't know. I always like Christmas at your house, your big house, the Selkirk Street house. I don't know. The old camp gang, the people that we hung out with when, we were, no, I don't know, when I was 16, let's say, or something. All of those people, and it just seems like, it's just so weird, I don't know. What happened to Janice Savonin? I don't know what happened to her. I just have questions. I thought by now everybody would be divorced and, everybody would be, like, friends with benefits with the people that they all didn't sleep with when they were teenagers and they probably should have. I mean, how late are you going to wait before you go back and you look at all these people from back in those days that, are mostly totally bored with their whatever partnerships they've had over these years, and which ones back in the days when we were going to PACI dances, you know. And I don't want to tell you over and over again, but I've been waiting for a long time for a lot of those guys who, never wanted to go and cross the line back in those days to be totally bored with plain old, Pollock pussy, as they said in that Tom Cruise movie, All the Right Moves, is like, it's got to be incredibly boring, you know. So, when you want to walk on the wild side, don't you want to have somebody that exactly knows how to do it right and, is, known as a professional. I wasn't in porn movies, but definitely, I never had no complaints. I did have a complaint one time. Well, it was this, I don't know. I was just, they came over and, and um, I guess I was tired, and I didn't go that. It wasn't a big, long, all night session like sometimes it is, but it was just like I was done, and then I guess I was just sleepy tired, and what I wanted to do was just have a cozy cuddle with, what do you call? There must have been like, I'm your weekend lover, or something. There was a song like that. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah. Well, anyways, that one later on, it let me know that he really wanted much more than I offered that time, and I said, well, I don't know what else to tell you. I must have just needed a rest, and I must have needed some cuddle time, and that didn't happen very much, though. But it did happen, and all I can tell you is that once in a while, even back in those days, I did get sleepy tired, and it was kind of nice to have a warm body to cuddle with. And I got to tell you, over all my what's going to be my 57 years, you mean the number of actual nights that I actually had somebody to cuddle with in my whole entire life. Um, um, 365 nights out of 57 years. 1 year, I'm going to say. I have a hard time believing that because I never had, not even one time did I have an official boyfriend. And I never had any kind of I don't know, there just wasn't. So I don't know, like even 365 days, like 365 nights where there was somebody cuddled next to me. It sounds too many. Let's go with 100. 100 nights in 57 years of me being on the planet. 100 nights there was somebody I cuddled with in the same bed overnight. So, a long, long time ago, Bill Stamp said that I really was, he said there was a Monty Python skit, and it was called The Bishop. And he called me the Bishop way, way back then because I just didn't have sex. So, if there's anybody who's, chaste on planet Earth, I'm not going to say, I don't know, me. What does it mean? I'm very independent of other people. Oh, yeah, I didn't have a dog. My roommate one time had a dog, and I was with them for, I don't know, 2 years. But, no, I didn't have a pet neither, and I didn't have a teddy bear. It's just that so many people are still stuck in this idea that part of their ascension journey, the ascension of your kundalini, up your chakra systems and whatever. Many people are hooked into this idea that they have to have a twin flame relationship. And if you're, ostensibly queer, then you need a twin flamer relationship. And this is totally wrong because the twin flames are within you. They're like the tubes of your Kundalini channels that go up and down, the Ida and the Pingala, for example. Is it true? No, it's all just metaphorical. The activation of these things seems to be somehow related to people's levels of consciousness on the scale of human consciousness. People who are head cases. Remember Foreigner had that song, Head Games? Head cases that are up in their monkey mind. And everybody is at one point or another. And then what everyone has to learn is that to get to higher levels of consciousness, You have to completely get out of your mind, yes. And you have to drop into your heart, yes. And then you can still ride around, here in your third eye area, but you let go of control because the monkey mind has got to be trained and taught to let go of control. And these are the advanced teachings of, how to let go. Really letting go from a spiritual perspective. And, there's nobody, as advanced as me on the planet. No, I'm sure there's other ways that, you can, check yourself out. But there's nobody that's more knowledgeable than me. I know, but I have to toot my own horn. And you have to remember that, you have to have a genius in the family. And Leo Tolstoy, for example, was considered a black sheep in the Tolstoy family. He spent all his time writing, and the rest of them said, Leo, you got to go get a job, you got to work in a factory or something. And in the end, Tolstoy had to write War and Peace and all that stuff. So I hugged some of those trees in Vickers Park last summer across from your big house. I really did. I really did. I had quite an energetic interaction with them. Very, very, very lots of. I do know. There's a lot of energy with those trees, and those trees at Vicker Park, those big trees. Holy moly, are they ever doing a lot of energy work? Yep. The trees on the planet are doing incredible amounts of energy work. Yep, right, like Reiki. Yeah, we're gonna say more than us, more than the humans. Yep. The plant life is doing a lot to help raise the collective consciousness of people, especially, because we're the best hope for the planet, and we're also the worst, nightmare for the planet. And as we go, so goes the planet. And the best way to save the planet is not to cut a check to Greenpeace. The best way to save the planet is to, well, spend more time meditating. Yes, I don't know about going to a meditation center, but just, sitting quietly in a quiet closet someplace and, getting fairly comfortable and trying, I don't know, sit up against the wall and put your bum on the carpet and close your eyes and just watch your mind and see how noisy your mind is. I don't know, maybe you've got a quiet mind. I don't know because, without talking to you and, I don't know. That's what I'd really be interested in talking to you. I don't know what else to tell you because I do want to talk to you about all the old people that I no longer see because I want to um, see if you're ripe for, come on, baby, light their fires in consciousness as a spark plug kind of person. Because sooner or later, somebody else in my extended family is going to be ready to, help me light everybody else's fire when it comes to consciousness. And given the fact that there's still, I don't know what else to tell you, and I'm still, so I don't know what else to tell you, and all I want to do is just keep you up to date on what's going on, and what's going on pretty much is I know I just want to let you know what's going on so that I can be a conduit for consciousness. I can be a mirror for you better than anybody else because I'm I don't know what it is to tell you. I'm a iconoclast. I don't know. There's very few people in Thunder Bay who are out and gay at 57 years of age today in 2022. There's very few people my age who have quit drinking booze, and fewer still who have quit drinking booze and have quit eating meat. Hello. When I was 15 years old, well, thereabouts, the illegal substance was, weeds, and I wouldn't smoke weeds or I wouldn't smoke cigarettes, but I would drink booze in those days. So it's all gone the other way around because these days, I'll smoke weed and I'll smoke cigarettes, but I don't drink booze. And I don't date anybody. And I have a mission. Just like the Blues Brothers did in the Blues Brothers movie. They had a mission. And I have a mission in my lifelong goal mission that, I'm on the mission every day, and I have been for years and years and years and years and years and years. And it's just that silly song, from when we were just little kids, it was the dawning of the age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius, 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 harmony and understanding, na 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 na. Anyways, I don't know if you could play that on the piano still. When you were small, you took piano lessons, and your family was very, you know, I don't know. Andrea liked to take music appreciation courses and things, and you were very well educated, so, what am I waiting for? Well, we're it's easier to say what I'm not doing. I'm not involved with helping out my world right now because I'm working on Roger Whittaker's song. No, it was Duran Duran, New Moon on Monday, but there was a Roger Whittaker song too. And I can see the new tomorrow coming on. I don't know. We're working on a big project that has a lot to do with the law of attraction, law of vibration, law of no, well, I don't know if there's a law of manifestation, but law of attraction, law of vibration, treasure map, because treasure mapping was a big thing. What you wanted to do is, put what you really, really, really wanted onto your treasure map and then just focus on that. And, law of attraction is going to lead you to what you hold in mind and what you intend for yourself. You create your own reality. And what I chose for myself was heaven on earth. Like really going all in as if it's to Texas Hold'em. All in because in the end, you only have one shot, and Eminem told you that a long time ago. You got one shot. You got one shot at life, honey bunch. And all this other fucking bullshit about chasing money, the next job, and then the next, I don't, it's just dumb. The only thing that's important is survival. And how are you going to survive? You need somebody that can help you out. Me. Because there's nobody else that you know who knows about this as much as me. I don't think so. I can't say for sure. I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of posers because they haven't put in the time that I've put in. And they haven't been through, what I've been through. And other people don't know you the way I do, and I know you when you were young. And most people say everything to do with everything at some point in time is always rooted back into one's childhood and family. And hello, Well, you got Andrea, and you got Peter, and you got Barbie. I don't know if you hung out that much with Kathy. And compared to Barbie, you didn't hang out as much with me. But in the extended circle, I am a very significant person in your childhood and teenage years that you didn't spend time with me and I didn't spend time with you. You spent your time with Babs. And you and Babs did you and Babs, and you guys had a wonderful time. You did. But, you missed out on me, and, the me that I was back in those days was, pretty two-dimensional. Being a closet case, you just don't. I don't know, but Jack in the Box is no longer Jack in the Box and hasn't been for a very long time. So it's very different when you've been out and you were different completely than that. I don't think I'm completely different, no, but yeah, I have so many different ways. I'm so many different people that I never expected to be when I was, you know, 15 years old and living in a Freemason household. I mean, all of those, having to wear a suit jacket and all that jazz with the neckties and all that. And, well, it's just that, there's a lot of things that have to do with you being, well, many times in Vancouver, they said, what you really are is your spirit having a human experience. So people really need to understand what does that mean? because you really need to come to a very, very full and complete understanding of what that means to be a spirit and not a human. Because you don't want to get stuck being a physical bodied human. You need to advance to higher levels of consciousness because that's what you're here to do. And if you don't have anybody that's there that can tell you exactly what you need, I can't say I know exactly what you need. I can't say for sure. I can't say. But if there's anybody that could point you in the right direction on just about everything in your life, it's me. And how do I do it? Well, I don't know. You just have to let me know that you're there. And then what I do with most people is I just send you messages, private messages mostly. And I just talk and 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 talk. Because that's usually what happens. Because people just don't talk to me that way. Because people are like, I don't know, they're not Catholic. If people had been brought up Roman Catholic and they had been formally made to go to Catholic school, then they'd know that they had to go to the priest once a week and do that thing where they could do the confession. Because no one has deep convos and hasn't had deep convos since they were 14 years old. And no one writes letters to their camp gang friends like what we used to do. And no one talks about all of the old stories about what happened with so-and-so with so-and-so back when we were 15, and now that we're almost, the next major milestone for me is turning 60. I mean, I don't know how much longer we're going to have to go and reminisce together about who got what and where and how did this all turn out and where did they go and, I don't know, all the name dropping that no one ever gets to do because no one ever gets to talk. I don't know who anybody's met that's of significant circumstance on the planet. You all know me, and you don't really understand anything at all to do with me because no one talks to me. And I was telling Lynn Hurl about what a hard time I'm having in this spiritual warfare on planet Earth, and it's impossible to get through to people, and I'm constantly under attack. And anyways, so, Lynn Hurl was never interested in, it's very difficult to get people to go on to Messenger. It's years and years and years. And, I just want to say SOS, Lynn. Seriously, I seriously am under, demonic attack every day. And, if I have to post something on your wall to finally get your attention, it's because I never see you and I don't have your phone number. And we don't have a yellow pages, white pages anymore. So trying to get your phone number is impossible. And the only way to get through to you is to, post a comment there somewhere on your main page on Facebook, and then your nose gets all out of joint. And next thing you know, you've blocked me, Lynn. And it's like, well, I'm still that young guy that, we used to get drunk together and write letters to, our other friends. And, there was no one that I wanted to spend more time with at one of those camp parties than you. For part of the time, absolutely. It would be like part of the things that was on my checklist of things to do is at some point in time, I've got to go and sit down and talk to Lynn. Because I had to talk to everybody, because that's what we all did, because we all cared about one another. And we wanted to know what was going on. And even if it was just a bullshit session and we were getting drunk, then, it was like quality time. And I've lost out because, Lynn's blocked me. And even if she hadn't blocked me, she hasn't talked to me the whole time since I've moved back to Thunder Bay from Vancouver. I think I've seen her once or something. So, it's just, what's the point of having, a childhood to go back and reminisce about if all the people that were in your childhood are all, zombies? Because I call them fuck-faced. And they don't like it when I call them fuck-faced, but over and over and over again, it's just like, well, that's what you are. And, when I explain what fuck-faced to them it is, it's like I don't even get them to talk back to me because they're so zombie. Fuckface means zombie. It means on the scale of human consciousness, people who are, especially people who are under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. The reference is David R. Hawkins, and you can Google that. That's a long talk and a long introduction, and I don't know if you're going to say hi or not to me, but anyways, I thought I would talk a little bit and say hi, and this is the kind of thing. It's 45 minutes, and I can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours.